Hello from the Jane Austen Centre in Bath. We're very lucky today to have Val McDermid with us, who is of course the next author to publish in the Austen project with her own version of Northanger Abbey. Val, welcome.
Nice to be here.
So Val, first things first, why the Jane Austen project?
Well, HarperCollins approached me and invited me to rework Northanger Abbey, and my first thought was like, I can't believe they're asking me. My second thought was, that's absolutely terrifying. And my third thought was, what a great challenge. I'd always enjoyed reading Austen, and so it seemed to me to be a really inviting prospect. Writing is about challenging yourself. If you don't seek to push yourself further with each book that you write, then there's really not much point in doing it. So eventually, after a little while, overcame my fears.
So you are, of course, predominantly known for your crime fiction, whereas Jane Austen is not. How did you feel about tackling such a different genre from the kind that you're used to writing?
Well, the advantage that I had to start with was that I was working with the same storyline and the same characters. So in essence, a lot of my building blocks were already in place, which was quite helpful to me. I wasn't tempted to throw dead bodies in and have sort of strange mysteries going on that weren't there in the original. So that was quite a good framework for me to work within. So having got that as a framework, I then was able to concentrate on the language I was using, the voice and the dialogue for the characters, to make that authentically modern, but also to give it the kind of legs that would mean that it will last. So in a few years' time when you read it, you won't just go, oh, that's just so 2013 or 2014 or 2015.
So did you find it difficult sticking to a plot line that had essentially already been written for you?
Yeah, I mean that was something that kind of gave me a starting framework. So often when I'm writing, the time that is expended before I actually start writing the book is expended in thinking how to make the story work. Yes. What's the framework, what's the structure? Here I already had that in place, so I always say once you've got the structure in place, the rest's easy.
So was it quite daunting for you stepping into the footsteps of one of the most famous authors in history?
It was incredibly daunting to step into Jane Austen's shoes, and I felt very strongly from the beginning that what I had to avoid was trying to write fake Jane Austen prose. It would have been so easy to fall into her prose style, and that would have become a parody, it would have become a pastiche in itself, and I didn't want to do that. So what I had to think about was the cadence of my sentences. I wanted something that was different from the kind of rhythm I would normally write in, but I wanted something that reflected the sort of rhythm and the weight of Jane Austen's work without it being in any way an attempt to copy the way that she wrote. So that was probably the hardest thing to begin with, was to get that voice in my head, of the voice I could tell this story in.
So in your version of Northanger Abbey, Catherine Cat Morland visits the Edinburgh Festival rather than the city of Bath. What was your reason for setting it here?
Well, it was in a way a central problem when I started out. Bath during the season is the setting for the first half of Northanger Abbey. But Bath doesn't really have a season anymore. People don't come here and spend a couple of months going to dances and balls and the pump room and buying their new wardrobe and looking for a husband. It's not how the world works in Bath anymore. And so, you know, actually when I came to Bath this time, I expected to be stoned in the street for moving Northanger Abbey north. So I thought about what was a possible equivalent of the season in Bath. And I thought about the Edinburgh festivals, because in the month of August, the population doubles. People come for the festival, the book festival, the fringe festival, the TV festival, and there's all sorts of parties going on, and people come to Edinburgh often as much to be seen as to see great performances. So it becomes this kind of social whirl as well. And I know, you know, people do meet up at the Edinburgh Festival and partner for life, well, or at least till next festival. And so I thought that would be a good equivalent. And it also gave me the possibility then of making Northanger Abbey a border abbey, so it fits in with sort of Melrose and Jedburgh and Kelso. So it's sort of a piece with them, so it has that history in the stones, as it were.
Oh, wonderful. Well, it sounds very, very exciting, and we're very much looking forward to reading it at the end of the month. So Val McDermid, thank you very much for joining us here at the Jane Austen Centre.
Thank you for inviting me. The whole process has been great fun.
Good, I'm glad. I'm very glad to hear it.